What up, Blow? What's going on, man? You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There we go. Everything's good, man.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Dirty South Fantasy Football League podcast. I'm your host, Eric Lee, along with my man, Lorenzo Ice Tay Thomas. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm trying to get this streaming on my Facebook page, but I got this on my Twitter and on my YouTube.
Okay, all right. We worldwide right now.
That's right. That's right. So we up. I'm up and good, man. I'm ready to roll.
Okay, good stuff, man. We got a lot to talk about in terms of regular NFL, what we saw over the weekend, as well as fantasy football, drafting, things of that nature. Got a special guest. One of our league mates, Commissioner Gordon, said he was going to join us today. Hopefully he makes his way in. He said he got the link, so I'm excited to have him on so we can talk about exactly what he did in the draft.
Okay.
Yeah, man, there's a whole lot going on.
Yeah, I got some questions about the owners. Some owners still got their teams invalid right now. What's going on? What they waiting for?
I don't know what they waiting on. I threw out a couple.
I think me and you ready because they got to make some moves.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm ready to pounce.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, man, we've seen a lot going on in the NFL, man. Anything that you see over the weekend? Good game last night. My Atlanta Falcons got a chance to play a little bit last night. I'm excited about the first team as well as the backup Desmond Ridder. I think he got the goods. Mariota looked good.
Oh, yeah, I definitely. And you and I had conversations because when we looked at our particular draft,
right.
I was the one that didn't get any of the elite quarterbacks early on in the draft. And I was looking at Kirk Cousins, David Carr, and also Marcus Mariota. So I'm watching this game last night. I was able to get Kirk Cousins, but I wanted to get Mariota as well as a backup, play the matchups as I go through the season because I wasn't sure what was going to happen with Deshaun Watson. So that's one of my quarterbacks who will, first game will be against the Texans. But anyway, watching Marcus Mariota last night, the Falcons have something to be very excited about because he's mobile. He can throw the ball as long as he can stay healthy.
Right.
Atlanta should be able to put some points on the board. And of course, my tight end is, the unicorn.
Unicorn.
So of course, I was happy to see that pass down the sidelines for about 40 or 50 yards. I was happy to see that connection. So as far as that game was concerned, and then I actually turned the game off. And then I woke up this morning and saw that the Jets came back and won the game. So
still preseason.
Yeah, it's preseason.
It's still preseason. Well, in terms of fantasy football, just to let everybody know, we are in a dynasty league, but we will be talking about flex and super flex leagues at the same time. Start them and sit them as we get closer to the league. With the league start, so we can talk about who actually to start and who actually, who to put on the bench. If you're out there and about, if you catch us on replay, make sure you hit the notification, hit the subscribe on YouTube, and if you're out there, drop us a chat. Let us know you're out there. We're excited to have you on the show.
So basically, we're gonna review the draft because we're going to have one of the owners on, right?
Yeah, actually, I see him in the green room already.
Oh, okay. Of course, because I can't release my sources, but I did send to the commissioner over the week that,
we'll talk about.
Do I need to hold it up? Do I need to hold up? Who had the number one draft? You don't have to hold it up to the
Hey, man, you ain't see the show sheet. I got you on the show sheet so we can talk about that. Yeah, we'll let everybody know what you did. We'll let everybody know what you did. You did a really, really, really good job. We're going to talk about Tom Brady, too, and all of his antics.
Yeah.
That dude, he can do what he want to do, though. He the GOAT. But he left his whole team hanging, for real. But he backs.
Well, do you want my opinion on it?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for.
Because, I wasn't sure. I thought we were going to the owner that is on the green room.
We're going to him in a second.
I just feel as if, look, with all the drama that's been surrounding him over the past couple of years, I just think that, he knew that next day he was going to have to answer questions.
Right.
And the narrative has changed over the last 11 years because what came out over the weekend that Tom Brady and Gronk were supposed to go to the Raiders in Vegas. So that came out. So the whole narrative about the Miami Dolphins trying to get Tom Brady has basically disappeared.
Okay.
And he left the day before. The next day, he would have had to answer questions about that. So I just think that the timing of him leaving was just so convenient for him.
A
And
little
maybe
suspicious.
maybe he was having some issues, some family issues and so on and so forth. Maybe
where
they
was he?
fabricated that, but I think he was at home. I'm pretty sure he was at home. He was not on He was not on the Masked Singer.
On the Masked Singer.
Masked Singer. Yeah, I don't watch the show, but I know what the show is. And that was the rumor that was going on, that he was on that particular show. And then he tweeted that he was not on the Masked Singer, but he was wearing a mask. So I thought that was funny. But basically the narrative and on the questions in reference to him and the tampering with the Miami Dolphins, because he's not penalized, but the Miami Dolphins, of course, their owner is suspended for 7 games, fined $1 million, and they lose their first round draft choice in the next year's draft and a 3rd round draft choice. What happens to Tom Brady?
Nothing.
He's
been getting away with it a long time.
Exactly.
We'll talk a little bit more about Tom. We get some other opinions on it. Matter of fact, we've got one of the owners of the league. We call him the Commissioner Gordon. Gordon is in the place. Gordon, what's going on, man?
How's it going, fellas?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
Everything is great, man.
I'm trying to read his name. What's the name of the team? I want to know who I'm talking to.
It says Team Commissioner G.
Commissioner G.
Is that's the name of the team in the league?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's the name of the team in the league.
What I'm trying to figure out is, how do you know how was the draft rankings? Maybe I didn't dig that deep in the draft rankings. Like, I didn't see that part of the
well, you have to have certain connections to be able to log into that aspect.
I'm not plugged in, huh?
Right. So, yes, you can put that on the screen if you have it, and show that I had the number 1 rated draft out of the entire league.
You got your phone. Go ahead and put it up there.
I just wanted to see. I wanted to make sure I knew this owner's team. And I wanted to take a look at his team. So I'm trying to find him right now.
It's all about you. We got the screen all about you right now.
Right. So hold on a second, Commissioner. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, he's got an invalid lineup.
Yeah.
So
Commissioner got to get his lineup
Commissioner, you have to make sure right now that you have to take some of the players that are on your bench, right? Hopefully you did draft enough young guys or rookies or players that have 1 year experience, because then you can take those players and put them on your taxi squad. If you did not draft enough, Eric and myself will be sitting back waiting to see who you drop, because you have to drop some players in order to get your team valid. And then they go straight to the waiver wire. So we're waiting to find out
what the league is going to do. You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
But there's I counted earlier, like these 9 other commissioners that have invalid. Oh yeah, I'm on my game. You know what I'm saying?
I see that.
Because whatever I need to do to improve the bottom of my roster, I'm going to do. So if I can find another player that can replace it, even though he's on my bench, I'm going to do that. So what the commission has to do, you have to find some of the players that are on your bench that are either rookies or have played 1 year, and put them on your taxi squad in order to get your team valid. So.
Yeah, but before we get
okay, I'll make that move in just a second once we get off. That's no problem.
Hey, Commish, looky here. Before we get started with you, we got to put you in the hot seat, bro. You're gonna be the first one to go into the hot seat. Ooh. Real easy. I got 6 questions for you. I just need you to answer them real quick.
All right.
We good with that?
Yes, indeed.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke all day.
Chick-fil-A or Popeyes?
Chick-fil-A. I'm from Atlanta, so it's gonna be slanted. You can scratch off a few of those off your list.
Okay. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Whew. That's a tough one. I gotta lean toward MJ just because of the that's tough. But yeah, I still lean toward MJ. Lean toward MJ.
Tupac or Biggie?
That's another tough one. Damn.
This ain't supposed to be easy, my brother.
Biggie.
What you got, baby? Biggie? Okay.
No, I go Pop.
You go Pop?
I go Pop. Just for all around of what Pop stood for and what he did and how he, the man that he was.
All right. Apollonia or Vanity 6?
Ooh.
Vanity.
Or Vanity. Okay, all right.
Vanity. Yeah.
Ford or Chevy?
Chevy.
All right, you're officially off the hot seat. It can be brought to you by a hot sauce. We just got to find one.
Hey,
we just got to find one.
We'll put the feelers out on that one. I like that.
We'll make it happen. So let's talk about the draft, bro. Our draft, the one that we did with how many rounds? Was it 27 rounds?
27 rounds. Right. 27 rounds.
Yeah, it was 27 rounds. It was crazy. It was crazy. So what we'll do is I'm going to screen share. We're going to go to see exactly what we did, man. And it should be fun. We're going to go straight to you and find out what you did, bro. Because Lorenzo and I, we already went across on what we did last week. So you were the number 9 pick.
There you go. Yeah. I was hot in the middle every doggone draft. I was either 8 or 9 every round.
So first pick, Derrick Henry. You happy with your pick?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the durability, man. I'll tell you this. I just told my son because he's in the fantasy football draft that's going on right now.
Right.
I made the mistake of drafting Christian McCaffrey with the number 2 pick last
year.
And man, you talking about kicking myself the entire doggone season. It was like my whole team was sunk, because you depend on those points. But yeah, like Derrick Henry has that durability. When you watch the workouts and you see how Tennessee depends on Derrick Henry, I think it's a value pick.
Okay, so is this the first time you've done IDP when you have to actually draft defensive players?
I've had it not as many, but I have drafted defensive players before. But you would also draft a total defense. So the draft was set up to where you would draft a defense, a team defense,
right,
and then you would draft an individual linebacker, D lineman, and defensive back.
Okay, so you've been here before. So, but this is Dynasty, man. So you married to the team at this point,
right?
Now the commission has his own podcast that he does every Monday night. How long you been doing that now, man?
It started during the pandemic,
right,
and it eventually rolled over to doing a live show,
right?
Probably around. It's been going since January, I say.
Okay.
But we're located at Blends 2 Cigar Lounge in Hateville.
Right.
And
that's for folks that in the ATL.
In Hateville,
remember, we worldwide.
And hey, man, we get, it's a small cigar lounge, and it's an intimate conversation. We go through it. We have a great time. We have debates. We go. Every Monday, it's a brand new debate because somebody has an agenda that they didn't like when such and such did, and how he caught the ball, and they don't like that team.
Well, as long as you got Google, you can always end the argument.
Right. Well, you'll never change anybody's opinion.
True. From time to time, you might be able to change one person, but not many of them.
Yeah, when you throw the numbers out there, the numbers will cure everything.
So let's talk about Dynasty versus redraft, because we got a redraft coming up. And Lorenzo, are you in another redraft league?
Yeah, I sure am. Yeah.
So are you excited about the redraft since you don't have to do as much?
No, not at all. After this draft, I'm not excited. I'm so prepared for it.
Right.
I am so and especially the challenge was the fact that it was a dynasty league. You don't know the other owners, so you don't know what their tendencies are.
Right.
The fact that we had 27 rounds, but also there were 16 teams.
Yeah, true.
So you really had to kind of set a strategy that okay, this guy would normally be here in the second round. So I need to make sure that I get people that I know are bona fide. I don't need any question marks in my second and my third and my fourth round. I got to make sure I got ballers that are going to score points regardless of position, because there's so many owners. So because there were so many owners, and then I ran into the problem that I didn't have a quarterback. And then I started trying to figure out what I was going to do. So now that I've gone through this entire process, and because we had so much time between the picks, I was doing so much research. So I just went and did a mock draft for the next league, and it's 14 teams. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so much talent out there, and you're aware of it because of all the research that we did getting prepared for this particular draft that we experienced. Because I know about the rookies now because they're on my team or they're on someone else's taxi squad. Whereas before, I wouldn't even paid attention. So that's the big difference.
What are your thoughts? Commish? How you feel about this?
I always look at it like when you're drafting and you have the whole entire draft, you got a lot of people that are fans of certain teams.
Right.
And especially here in Atlanta, you look at a lot of guys and they are fans of maybe the Falcons or they're fans of certain teams. And so they're going to lean that way. So I took that into account with a lot of people.
Even if it don't make sense.
I started figuring out, like, why the hell did he pick him? And then you realize, like, oh, that's a Philly fan. Or, oh, he likes DC.
You must be talking about Chaz. Chaz the Sandman. He said he's coming on the show. So
yeah. So I guess Commissioner, I guess a lot of people were a little upset when I picked Kyle Pitts, huh?
Oh yeah, a couple of folks.
Definitely. People were upset. Because I didn't think he would go that high. But like you said, once you get around to that area, you start to see like, yo, I don't know. I don't know why you're picking or why this guy going in the early rounds. And like you said, there's always going to be runs. So there's runs on quarterbacks.
Right.
That was what shocked me. That was the most shocking thing.
Yeah. Quarterback, everybody's picking the quarterback.
Everybody's got it.
Oh, damn. Oh, he picked Mahomes. I got to pick, I got to get Burrow. I got to get whoever. And then by the time you look up, like, damn, it's only like my few guys that I thought would probably go in the third or fourth round. I'm like, okay, these guys aren't here.
Yeah.
Right. So then that's when I changed my strategy and said, okay, I've got to pick Deshaun Watson. So, and then just sit back and wait to see what happens and then try to find another quarterback. And if he was available, then I knew I could pick. I didn't think anyone was going to pick Jacoby Brissett, but at least I would have a starter. But my defensive players who score quite a few points and some of them score more than the wide receivers and the running backs, make sure that I pick, bona fide players in those particular positions. But one thing I did make a mistake. I was looking at the points that they scored last year. And maybe it wasn't a mistake, but I was looking at what they scored last year. And that's how I ranked the players. But some of the players were ranked based on their projections. Right. So they may have been projected to do very well. And I may have picked someone that, like a J.J. Watt, who won Defensive Player of the Year, may not be projected to score more points than the linebacker from Chicago. You see what I'm saying? But crazy. Which is crazy. But because he plays linebacker and defensive line, now I have versatility. And now I have Myles Garrett. So if either one of them get hurt, I still have depth on the bench with the linebackers. And then I have a defensive back that can play linebacker and defensive back. So I can play the matchups when they're playing the sorry teams like the Jets or the Panthers or the Giants or whoever, the sorry teams are for this year. So then I can play the matchups. And that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because I had opportunity to pick up a kicker that was hurt, and I put him on my injury reserve, and I got called out by one one of the guys in the league. Is like, man, what you doing? I said, hey, they hurt. I can put him on the league. I can put him on my team, and I can keep him there until he's healthy. And I got to roster him at that point. So it's there are a lot of different strategies that you could use, especially when we're talking about a dynasty league. I mean, this is the first time I got to commission one, so I'm excited about it. It should be fun. We're gonna have a good time. And speaking of injury, man, let's talk about that injury report. I cracked up laughing because Phoenix Rising is actually a good friend of Commissioner Gordon and I. Yeah, we it's our old program director from our sports station. He's actually taking over a couple of stations in Arizona. Right. So he had two people go out this week, Thibodeau and the guy from
Gus Edwards is on.
Gus Edwards, both of them. And I remember I shot out the gif about the ambulance going through. I said, bruh, you only get 3 positions, and 2 of them already he already got 2 of them filled. So when we talk about, all of the injuries, gosh, Thibodeau, Logan Thomas, Isaiah Spiller, they say Jameis is back. All famous
Yes.
Jameis.
Yeah.
He was practicing yesterday.
Hold on, Gordon. You gave me a look when I said that. What's going on?
Well, once again, man, Jameis is back, but I don't know. Well, I'll give him this. He started to make strides a little bit last year, but once again, you don't have the Sean Payton play calling to hide behind. Sean Payton was a genius in that. So I don't know what value you would have in drafting Jameis Winston in terms of will he revert back to 3 picks a game,
right,
or is he going to keep making the transition into being a good quarterback?
And the same could be said for Michael Thomas, because Michael Thomas was playing with Drew Brees. Now Sean Payton is not there. Sean Payton's not there, and Drew Brees is not there. So Michael Thomas comes back, but he had that great chemistry with Drew Brees. Will he be able to establish that with Jameis? I don't think so, because it was a timing offense that they ran, and that's not Jameis.
Yeah, that's not Jameis at all, man. Jameis has gotten used to like the Bruce Arians offense, where he's basically chunking it down the field. Right. And I think that kind of caused for a lot of those interceptions. Another thing that I always laugh at, and I don't know how he got so far without doing this earlier, but it wasn't until it was this time last season where Jameis wound up getting LASIK surgery.
Right. Got his eyes right.
And I'm wondering, how the hell did you get this far into the league?
And you can't see.
And then you go back and you look at some of the clips, and you can see him squinting at the scoreboard. Like I'm like, what? That makes all the sense in the world.
We could have gotten the game.
Oh man, that's funny.
We could have gotten the game.
He wouldn't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we see a couple of folks tuning in. If you're out there, man, feel free to drop us a chat, say hello. If you got any questions about fantasy football, let us know. We'll definitely help you guys out, especially when the season starts, when we can see exactly what's going on, who's playing, who's not playing. There are a lot of cuts that went on in the NFL today. Everybody's getting their roster down to 80 players, and by what, Sunday? Is it down to 53 by Sunday?
Yeah.
About 53. Yeah. So man.
But Eric, you mentioned Phoenix Rising. He's got three players over the limit, right? And I'm looking at the roster. It doesn't seem as if he has enough rookies to fill up the taxi squad.
Yeah. Well, the taxi squad is optional. So
yeah, but he has too many players, so he's got to get rid of 3 players right now. So
we'll be waiting.
And we're waiting. So I'm looking like, hey, Phoenix Rising, let's do a trade. Let's do a 2-for-1 trade, something.
Yeah, he's 3 hours behind us. He's probably popping in looking at us too. So in Phoenix, he's definitely in Phoenix. So this is what we'll be doing each and every Tuesday, right after the Monday night game. We want to be able to come in and talk about what happened over the weekend, about what's going on with the league, and we're going to have a lot of our actual owners in the league, as well as we're going to have some professional football players. I've got some. I got the thumbs up commission from a couple of guys we know that happen to play in the league. Said they would be a part of it, so it's gonna be fun.
Okay, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and we got to give hell to Dukes too, because he did a lot of auto picking. So yeah.
Jamie Dukes?
No. Look. Jamie did work with us, but this is Carl Dukes. Carl Dukes is actually one of the leading sports talk people in the country, but he did a whole lot of auto picking. We're gonna give him hell about that. We definitely gonna give him hell about it.
And I think a lot of people, and you said it, you asked me earlier, but I benefit from having it before. But a lot of people leaned in on the defensive thing. Like my guy Rich, that's in the league.
Yeah.
Rich was picking defense, I think in round 4.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it right now with Michael Parsons.
Yeah, he went in heavy.
Yeah.
With his squad. And I looked and I said, he must know something I don't.
Yeah. I looked at the same thing. I said, did he just pick Michael Parsons?
Yeah.
So at that point, I started to get a little antsy. Do I start a run?
Yep.
Yeah,
Him picking Micah is what made me pick those 2 defenders, because there were so many wide receivers and wide receivers and running backs that were in that. It was like that middle round, that muddy area where a lot of those players had so many question marks. And at that time, I didn't want a player with a question mark. I want a player that's going to score points. And I trust myself that I'll be able to find players on the waiver wire, hopefully, now that I see what the waiver wire looks like, or be able to do a good job picking some of the rookies that can ultimately fill in. But yeah, I got quite a few defenders myself, and I may have to drop a linebacker or two. And that's why on the chat yesterday, I was talking to someone and I was like, hey, if you need some linebacker depth, hit me up.
Yeah.
It hit me up. They hit me back. It was like, I want Kyle Pitts. I was like, yo, we're talking linebacker depth, and you come back, asking for Kyle Pitts. He's like, I don't need any linebacker depth. I said, all right, deuces.
There are a lot of people that are in this league in Atlanta. We know what Kyle Pitts is.
Yeah. That's why I picked him.
I think what happens a lot of times too, and it's going to be interesting to see how this league plays out. I'm an active trader. If there's a deal to be made,
okay.
Like a lot of times I stack my draft.
Well, let's talk. Let's definitely talk.
Hold on, let me see what you got on your list.
I like that. You know what I mean? Because if you got a
deal,
if you got a quarterback and I have the wide receiver, let's go ahead and let's talk about it. You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
Exactly. But there's some guys who grab and they just hold, and it doesn't matter. The world could be crumbling around them, and they're gonna hold on to those guys.
But you know what? I will make a deal with anybody outside of my division. If you're in my division, kick rocks. I ain't helping none of y'all.
Before the season starts, I could make a trade with someone in my division before the season starts, between now and the season. I could do that. After that, but then you might see something that they don't see. True. You may look and see like, oh, they've got 5 guys on a bye. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm gonna take advantage of that. So
if you got 5 guys on a bye, I ain't helping you out with nothing. You go suffer on this one.
But if he has something that you really want, and it's a dynasty league,
it's a dynasty league. It's
so
definitely a dynasty league, and we're excited about that.
Yep. Definitely. So that makes a difference. So Commissioner, I'm going to definitely look at your lineup, see what we can do.
Okay, definitely. Like I said, I once again, like I just drafted Jimmy G just off of the principle of I don't know what's going to happen, but it was so far down in the draft. I was like, okay, I can risk this pick just to see if they did make a trade from Cleveland or Seattle, whoever they slide them in. I got them. Somebody might want them, or I can use them as leverage here or there. And so that's just kind of into the mentality of kind of how I was building the team.
Okay.
Right. Like I got Romeo. You might be, I know he's a rookie, but you might be interested in him because you got Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I haven't looked at your taxi squad, but you may have someone from Minnesota because I got Kirk Cousins, or you may have somebody from Cleveland, and it might be something that is okay. We can do that. But Romeo looks like he's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be interesting. If you, matter of fact, we're gonna pose that in one of our questions next week. If you're an owner, do you hold on to your players like grim death, or are you actively trading in your league? Because that's a fun thing about playing fantasy football. If you got people to trade, it can be real fun.
That's right.
I've been the guy that hold on to them, but I'll trade if it's in my favor. If it's in my favor.
So many guys, like if I come to you with a trade, I can see the benefit. I can see the benefit in my favor. Of course, I'm going to try to slant it a little bit towards me, but I'm going to also. I'm not going to take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so many people think that somebody's making a trade.
So you're so benevolent. Okay, all right.
I mean, but also like if I offer a trade,
right.
Feel free to say, no, that's not what I want, but I am willing to do this. Because sometimes people will just see the trade, not like it, and then just not respond or just shut it down altogether. It's a trade for a reason because we can go back and forth.
Right.
It's just like how it works in the real NFL or the real NBA or whatever league.
Right.
It's negotiations.
Yeah, I gotta trade out to Scotty. We'll see if he accepts it. I gave him my number one, and your
number one draft choice for next year?
For next year for Travis Etienne. I'll give him my number one for that.
Interesting.
And the thing is, next year is going to be, and that's why I was in the position that I was in. I'm like, okay, if I don't have a quarterback and I don't do well, next year's college draft, there's some ballers coming out. There's studs coming out. So I said, okay, I just may have to, just be a loser for this year. But it turned out that I was able to, manipulate it. And I got Kirk Cousins with a new offensive coordinator, and he has Justin Jefferson. So they're going to score some points. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're going to throw the ball. So I'm excited about that. So as opposed to being top 10, he might make it to the top 7, top 5, 6 this year. And I'm good with that.
Good stuff. What's your social handles? We about to slow this thing down. We're right about 30 minutes. What's your social handle, Commish?
Well,
how they can get at you?
On Twitter, I am G Robinson Sports. I tried to change it to the Commissioner Gordon. They wouldn't let me. But on Instagram, it's at the.commissioner.gordon. Again, you can find my platform, all streaming platforms. It's called The Commissioner's Conversation.
Yeah.
So you can call my podcast. We put it up online. We all, like I said, we do sports, music, movies, culture, everything all under the sun now. It's just it's morphing into a big thing. But like I said, at the.commissioner.gordon on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then on IG is Commissioner Gordon Robinson. On Facebook is Commissioner Gordon Robinson.
Lo, what you got? What's your handles, baby?
Well, my handle is on Twitter. It's Lorenzo Thomas. On IG, Lorenzo Ice T. On Facebook, it's Lorenzo Thomas. And you can just follow me there. Those are my handles. E, can you give us a little breakdown on the trades? I saw something in the descriptions or in the comments about, or I'm not sure which area you call it, in reference to vetoing trades. Do we all have to agree on it, or what's the process?
Oh, no. We don't have it where I haven't set the league settings that we can veto it. Generally, if you make the trade and somebody accepts it, it goes through.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
you have to approve it, right?
Yeah, I'll approve it, but I'm gonna approve everything. I mean, look, I'm a benevolent leader.
And on that note,
and my handles, you can see it right there at Dirty South FFL. So, any final thoughts before we break out of here?
Oh man, I'm just looking forward to getting the season started. I think this is going to be it's going to be a pretty good NFL year, man. I think across the board, there are so many good players,
right?
That it's going to be an exciting season. I don't think there's a clear cut runaway. We did a thing last night where I was like, "Who's your Super Bowl predictions?" And I got so many different answers,
right?
That you could kind of see that it's the parity that the league kind of wants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good
yeah,
stuff.
And I'll piggyback on that. Because of the parity, you're going to get quite a few young ballers coming out there and making names for themselves. So that's why I think in this league, where it is a dynasty league and you have the taxi squad, it's so important to be able to know who to put on that taxi squad and know when to bring them up so they can be active, because a lot of those players are going to be very important to those teams throughout the course of the season.
Absolutely. So if you're catching this on replay, make sure you hit the notification bell. So anytime we pop up, you'll know that we're up and live, as well as hit the subscribe button on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, hit the like button. And we truly appreciate you guys taking the time out to check out the Dirty South Fantasy Football League. We'll see you next Tuesday, 8:00. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.